Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky has once again spoken with stark clarity. He accused the United States of a damaging silence. This silence, he argued, effectively encourages Russian aggression. His nation is fighting for its very survival, and words from allies must translate into concrete support. The timing of Zelensky's statement is no accident. It comes as Ukraine faces renewed and intensified attacks. Russia continues its brutal campaign. The Kremlin shows no sign of relenting. Instead, it appears emboldened. Zelensky sees a direct link. He perceives a hesitation in Washington. This hesitation, he believes, sends a dangerous signal to Moscow. It suggests a wavering of resolve. Such perceptions can be lethal on the battlefield and in the halls of power. Zelensky's frustration is palpable. He is a leader carrying an immense burden. He watches his people suffer daily. He sees his cities turn to rubble. He is asking for the tools to fight back effectively. He is asking for unwavering international backing. This accusation against a key ally is a high-stakes gamble. The future of Ukraine hangs in the balance. The urgency of Zelensky's words is underscored by recent events. On May 25, 2025, Russia launched another massive air assault. This time, the northeastern city of Kharkiv bore the brunt. Bombs and missiles rained down. Civilian infrastructure was targeted. Homes, shops, and a hardware hypermarket were hit. The scenes were horrific. Firefighters battled huge blazes. Rescue workers searched desperately for survivors amidst the twisted metal and smoldering ruins. This was not a strike against military targets. It was an attack on ordinary life, designed to sow terror. The attack on Kharkiv was devastating. Initial reports spoke of many dead and injured. The hypermarket, a place of weekend shopping, became a scene of carnage. People were simply going about their day. They were buying supplies, perhaps planning home repairs. Then Russian bombs turned their ordinary Saturday into a nightmare. This is the reality of Russia's war. It is a war against the Ukrainian people. It aims to break their spirit. It aims to make life unlivable. The international community watches, but for Kharkiv's residents, watching is not enough. They need protection. They need air defense. They need the attacks to stop. Zelensky's statements must be understood in this context. The May 25th attack is a grim reminder. It shows that Russia will not stop unless it is stopped. When President Zelensky refers to U.S. silence, he is not suggesting a complete absence of American statements. The U.S. has condemned Russian aggression. It has provided significant aid. However, Zelensky's point is more nuanced. He is referring to a perceived lack of sufficiently strong and timely action. He is pointing to delays in weapons deliveries. He is highlighting restrictions on how Ukraine can use Western-supplied arms. Zelensky is calling for more than just words of support. He needs tangible results. He wants faster delivery of promised military aid. He wants more advanced weaponry. He argues that current restrictions effectively tie one hand behind Ukraine's back. Economic sanctions have been a key tool in the international response to Russia's aggression. The goal is multifaceted. Sanctions aim to cripple Russia's war machine. They seek to degrade its ability to produce weapons and finance its military operations. They also intend to impose a significant cost on the Russian economy. A wide array of sanctions has been implemented by the US, the EU, and other allied nations. These target Russian banks, state-owned enterprises, technology imports, and key individuals. The impact of these sanctions is a subject of ongoing debate. There is no doubt that they have caused disruption to the Russian economy. Russia has faced exclusion from global financial systems. It has lost access to Western markets and technologies. Its economy has had to reorient itself, often at considerable cost. However, Russia has also shown a degree of resilience. Section 5, Washington's tightrope, the U.S. response and its critics. The United States has been Ukraine's single largest provider of military and financial aid. Washington has orchestrated international sanctions. It has rallied allies. Yet the U.S. response is also characterized by a degree of caution. This caution stems from several factors. There is a desire to avoid direct conflict with Russia, a nuclear power. There are concerns about escalation. There are also domestic political considerations. The level of support for Ukraine, while generally bipartisan, faces scrutiny and occasional opposition. President Biden has repeatedly stated that the U.S. will support Ukraine for as long as it takes. His administration has authorized billions in aid. However, there have been notable delays. the passage of a major aid package in early 2025 faced significant hurdles in Congress. These delays had a tangible impact on the battlefield. Ukrainian forces reported shortages of ammunition and equipment. This period of uncertainty likely emboldened Russia. It also fueled Zelensky's concerns about the steadfastness of U.S. support. Section 6. Scars of War: The Enduring Human Cost in Ukraine. Beyond the geopolitical chess moves and strategic calculations, the war in Ukraine exacts a devastating human toll. Every day brings fresh grief. Every missile strike leaves behind shattered lives. Millions have been displaced from their homes. They have become refugees in foreign lands or internally displaced persons within their own country. Families have been torn apart. Children have witnessed horrors no child should ever see. The psychological trauma will linger for generations. This is the unquantifiable cost of Russia's aggression, a cost borne by ordinary Ukrainian citizens. The attacks on civilian infrastructure are relentless. Hospitals, schools, and residential buildings are routinely targeted. This is not collateral damage. It is a deliberate strategy. It aims to demoralize the population. It seeks to make life untenable. The recent attack on the Kharkiv hypermarket is a case in point. It was a place of civilian life, not a military installation. The loss of life is staggering. Thousands of civilians have been killed. Many more have been injured. These are not just statistics. Each number represents a unique individual, a life cut short, a future stolen. The impact on children is particularly heartbreaking. Many have lost parents. Section 7. Echoes of History: Understanding the Roots of Conflict. The current war in Ukraine did not begin in February 2022. Its roots run deep into history. For centuries, Ukraine has struggled for sovereignty and self-determination. It has often found itself caught between powerful neighbors, particularly Russia. The relationship between Russia and Ukraine is complex and fraught. It is marked by periods of shared history, cultural affinity, but also by Russian domination and Ukrainian resistance. Understanding this historical context is crucial to comprehending the motivations and narratives driving the current conflict. It sheds light on the deep-seated grievances on both sides. Russian President Vladimir Putin has repeatedly invoked a distorted version of history. He denies Ukraine's legitimacy as a separate nation. He claims Ukrainians and Russians are one people. This narrative seeks to justify Russia's aggression. It aims to portray the war as a reunification of historical Russian lands. This view is vehemently rejected by Ukrainians. Section 8. A world divided, international reactions and Zelensky's frustration. President Zelensky's criticism extends beyond the United States. He has often voiced frustration with the broader international community. He sees a world that is too slow to react. He perceives a reluctance to take truly decisive measures against Russia. While many countries have condemned the invasion and provided aid, Zelensky believes the response has not matched the scale of the threat. He argues that a more unified and forceful global stance is needed to compel Russia to end its aggression. This requires more than just symbolic gestures. It demands sustained, coordinated pressure. The global response has indeed been mixed. Western nations, led by the US and EU, have been largely united in their support for Ukraine. They have imposed sanctions. They have supplied weapons. They have offered humanitarian assistance. However, even within this bloc, there are differences in approach and urgency. Some countries are more hesitant to provide offensive weapons. Some are more concerned about the economic fallout of sanctions. Section 9. Forging a path to peace, unity, solutions, and the future. The path to a just and lasting peace in Ukraine is fraught with challenges. There are no easy solutions. However, a few key elements are essential. First, unwavering global unity in supporting Ukraine is paramount. This means sustained military aid. It requires tightening and expanding sanctions against Russia. It involves isolating Russia diplomatically and economically. Any sign of division or wavering resolve among Ukraine's partners will only encourage the Kremlin to prolong the conflict. Potential solutions must respect Ukraine's sovereignty and territorial integrity. Any peace deal that rewards Russian aggression would set a dangerous precedent. It would undermine international law. It would embolden other autocratic regimes. Ukraine must be at the center of any negotiation process. Its people must determine their own future. This includes decisions about future security arrangements and alliances. The international community's role is to support Ukraine in achieving a peace that is both just and sustainable. The effectiveness of sanctions, while debated, remains a critical tool. They must be made more comprehensive. loopholes must be closed.